The chief executive.
From Fox 5, this is The Noon.
We're following several breaking stories as we come on air. A spokesman for Mayor Adams says he's going to endorse former Governor Andrew Cuomo in the race for New York City's next mayor. But first, a massive illegal gambling bust involving a slew of professional athletes and coaches. The entire scheme tied to the Mafia and a whole lot more. Welcome to The Noon. I'm Bianca Peters. Dozens of people, including some very famous faces, implicated in this crime. Let's get right out to Fox 5's Haley Fixler live in Brooklyn, where the FBI just broke down this bust. Haley.
Well, Bianca, more than 30 people have now been indicted in 2 separate illegal gambling cases. And between both scams, officials say the victims were scammed out of tens of millions of dollars. Now, all of this is very intricate, so let's break down each of these cases for you. So in one of the cases, it's related to a fraudulent gambling scheme. Investigators say professional athletes like former NBA player and current head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Chauncey Billups, and former NBA player Damon Jones, they were used to get victims to come to the poker table. We're told everyone, even the dealers, were in on the scam. The victims were fleeced out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. And we're told Mafia families
in the deck predict which player at the table had the best poker hand and relay that information to an off-site operator. Defendants used other cheating technologies such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table.
3 of the people accused in the poker game scandal are also charged in another case. This is the illegal sports betting one. Prosecutors allege that there was an illegal spread of information regarding when players would be sitting out of certain games and when they would pull themselves out of games because of injuries. Officials say Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant coach Damon Jones, they're also part of that group that would pass that non-public information to sports bettors. Here's what they say happened next.
They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts. Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars.
Officials say these cases, they're the result of years worth of investigating. We do also know that the NBA is cooperating with authorities on this, and some of the defendants they'll be hearing court later this afternoon. Live in downtown Brooklyn, Bianca, back to you.
All right, Haley, thank you so much for the update. And some breaking news now. A construction worker is in critical condition after falling 60 feet on the job on the west side. Officials say this happened around 8:50 a.m. They responded to a call of the worker falling into a construction pit. Rescue workers lowered a basket to retrieve that victim, performed CPR, and determined there was no pulse or breathing.
When the EMS units arrived on scene, they met with the fire units. Our rescue paramedics were able to get down and treat the patient. It was a critical construction worker. He was treated, packaged, and transported to a local hospital, and he remains in critical condition.
Officials do not know how or why the worker fell, but once units arrived on the scene, they treated him, as you heard him say, packaged him and got him up and out of that hole. All right, some breaking news in the race for New York City mayor. A spokesman for Mayor Adams says he's going to endorse former Governor Andrew Cuomo today on the heels of the final debate last night. Let's get right over to our Linda Schmidt, who's live in the studio with the very latest in all of this. And Linda, Mayor Adams will be campaigning alongside former Governor Cuomo.
Yeah, there is never a dull moment. Good afternoon to you there, Bianca. Well, the big news coming off of last night's debate is that Mayor Adams is now endorsing his former adversary, Andrew Cuomo. Now, everybody knew that this was going to be coming at some point, and pictures that Cuomo posted on X last night solidified it. Go ahead, take a look at this right here. Immediately after the debate in Queens, Cuomo raced over to Madison Square Garden. He got there in about 25 minutes for the Knicks season opener, and he was sitting then courtside with Mayor Adams. You can see them both smiling. Cuomo has a thumbs up. Now the mayor's got a thumbs up. And Cuomo posting that this was the best way for him to celebrate what he called his winning debate performance. Now today, Mayor Adams is officially announcing that he is endorsing Cuomo, who he called, quote, a liar and a snake, multiple times during his campaign. Last night's debate, let's get back to that here for a moment, had some fiery exchanges.
Seeing Andrew Cuomo, someone who had 10 years to deliver on so much of what he's spoken about. He says that taking 5 years to build affordable housing is the sign of an incompetent government. By his own words, that means he must have led an incompetent government.
No reason to believe you have any merit or qualification for 8.5 million lives. You don't know how to run a government, you don't know how to handle an emergency, and you've literally never proposed a bill on anything that you're now talking about in your campaign.
Excuse me, Mr. Cuomo, it's my turn, all right? It's like two kids in a schoolyard.
Okay, now, this morning on 77 WABC Radio, Cuomo continued to attack Zohran Mamdani's experience, and this morning invoking 9/11.
You wake up as mayor, you wake up as governor. Any morning, there's a prison uprising. There was just a mass shooting. There's Legionnaire's disease. There's going to be a fiscal collapse. Wall Street's moving to doubt. Any given morning, there's a crisis. And people's lives are at stake. God forbid another 9/11. Can you imagine Mamdani in the seat?
Now, Mamdani responding with this post on X today, saying, quote, just disgusting. Now, Mamdani and Cuomo, they both have busy schedules today. As for Curtis Sliwa, we have not heard yet of any campaign events. I'm sure they're going to get back to us in just a short amount of time. But he did come out swinging on X today, calling for Cuomo to drop out of the race, and also reiterating that he is the Republican candidate in this race and that he is going to continue fighting for New Yorkers. Bianca, 13 days until Election Day.
And as you're right at the beginning, never a dull moment.
It sure isn't.
Linda, thanks so much. Also coming up at 12:15, Democratic strategist Trip Yang is going to be joining us to break apart last night's final mayoral debate. He always has some great insight in on this, so stay tuned for that. Let's turn now to weather to see what's in store for us this afternoon. A beautiful live look outside right now. Those clear, beautiful skies. But hey, it is a little chilly. But you know what? It's fall.
It's fall. It's pretty nice out there. Yeah, plenty of sunshine, just a little windy. Now, I think we might get up to 60 today. We might tap out in the upper 50s, but my hope is that we have a high of 60. We'll keep that sunshine. It's going to remain breezy. It's really just been a breezy week. Now, we are tracking a chance of maybe a couple isolated showers northwest of the city, but right now that chance isn't too high, and we're slowly climbing into the upper 50s to get that high of 60. 57 in New York right now, but we are already to 62 out on Long Island, 57 for Hartford, Poughkeepsie 55, Monticello 49. I'll tell you more about those little chance of showers a little later in the show. Bianca.
All right, sounds good, Liv. Thanks so much. To some developing news now, the Queens woman accused of leaving her newborn baby in Penn Station was arraigned on charges of abandoning a child and endangering the welfare of a child. 30-year-old Asa Diarra was also granted supervised release, but police say the baby girl was wrapped in a blanket, left at the bottom of a stairwell leading to the downtown trains. Her umbilical cord still attached. Now, doctors say she's doing okay. If found guilty, Diarra could spend up to 4 years behind bars. All right, next at noon, a strike on Broadway has been averted. The tentative deal between the union representing Broadway's musicians and commercial producers. We'll talk about it. All right, some very big news on the Great White Way. Broadway musicians announcing a tentative agreement with the Broadway League, averting a possible strike that could have made a major impact on the industry. Fox 5's Antoine Lewis is live in Times Square with what we need to know about this tentative deal. Hey, Antoine.
Bianca, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. A lot of relief being felt here in Times Square. Take a look at the TKST booth behind me. You can see people are in line buying tickets to shows, smiling faces, shows that they know that the lights will now be staying on. So a mediator was brought in to help the Broadway League and the local 802 Musicians Union find common ground, which they did apparently around 4:30 this morning. Now, the new tentative agreement includes wage increases and contributions to the health fund, among other things that the union was asking for. Insiders say a strike would have been devastating for Broadway, which is still rebounding from the impact of the pandemic shutdown, and attendance is still trying to get back to pre-pandemic numbers. Now, in a statement, the local 802 said this 3-year agreement provides meaningful wage and health benefit increases that will preserve crucial access to health care for our musicians while maintaining the strong contract protections that empower musicians to build a steady career on Broadway. Now, we told you we're at the TKTS booth here. We've been talking to people, getting a reaction to had the strike gone through. Here's what a few of them told us earlier. Take a listen.
It would have been very upsetting because we had tickets for one when we came. We got it ahead. We're from the San Francisco area.
That would have been very sad, yes. Yeah, because we've traveled all the way from India. We are visiting, so it would really have been a big disaster for us.
If they're on strike, I don't come. When they're back working, I come.
So I guess he will be back. The union says the members have been working without a contract since August. The next step for the tentative agreement is to be ratified by union members. But again, as you come back to us live, you're taking a look at it. Yeah, how you doing? Everyone's waving. Everyone's in a good mood. They're going to see their shows. Back inside to you.
Good to see it, Antoine. Thanks so much. Well, last night, Curtis Lewa, Zohran Mamdani, and Andrew Cuomo squared off in the final mayoral debate. Next at noon, Democratic strategist Trip Yang joins us to break down last night's debate.
Unstoppable.
All All right, last night was the second and final mayoral debate. Zohran Mamdani, Curtis Sliwa, Andrew Cuomo squared off at LaGuardia Community College, vying for votes to become the next mayor of New York City. Early voting actually starts this Saturday, and Election Day is less than 2 weeks away on November 4th. Joining us now to break down last night's mayoral debate is Democratic strategist Trip Yang. We always love talking to you. Thanks so much for coming back.
Thank you. It's always great to continue our lively discussion, sometimes debate with you, Bianca,
I love
on politics.
This is what it's all about. Okay, so let's get to the debate last night, because I feel like a lot of the coverage this morning is saying that Cuomo was a lot stronger, more attacks, more delivery, some things landed better, but that always doesn't move voters. So in your mind, did this shift anything, or does Zohran still have this in the bag?
Look, quite frankly, this is the final debate, and early voting starts in 2 days, this Saturday. So, of course, the candidates who are trailing the frontrunner Mamdani, which are Sliwa and Cuomo, of course they have to get all their attacks in, all of their last ammo in. Look, everyone had more cups of coffee. Everyone was a little bit more, had their 5 energy drink, it seems like. There was a very lively debate. I thought the winners of the debate, quite frankly, was the moderators. Errol,
good point.
You're right. Errol, Katie, Brian, they were excellent. They really asked a lot of really pivotal questions on housing, education, a lot of specific policy proposals. But look, I don't, quite frankly, to answer your question, I don't know if it fully moves the needle because a lot of this electorate is really baked in. There's sky-high turnout. The candidates are known. And quite frankly, it looks like to me, Mamdani is on his glide path to City Hall.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that as well. You brought up something specific that the moderators asked, which I think this might have been Mamdani's weak point. A lot of people are saying that he dodged some questions on one of the ballot measures, which focuses on affordable housing, building housing. Do you think that created a very vulnerable moment for him? Because you had Sliwa and Cuomo attacking him on this issue, which his whole campaign is run about, affordable housing.
It is fair to attack someone on certain issues trying to get to a specific answer. But the reality is the politics here are actually kind of complicated. Because Mamdani is the Democratic nominee and such a strong frontrunner, he has a massive Democratic coalition endorsing him. So on the affordable housing ballots, he has folks such as the comptroller, Brad Lander, supporting it, but he also has so many labor allies and many council members who have endorsed him opposing it. So because his coalition is fractured, it actually is the politically smart, strategic move to not take a position on it. Finally, I'll say, Bianca, he has said since the beginning of the campaign, as mayor, he would build over 200 affordable housing units. The ballot measure is a very technical term. Obviously, you have to dive into the details on that. But on affordable housing, Mamdani does have a strong platform.
Okay, so as Democratic strategist, looking at some of his answers last night, what was his strongest one, debating policy, not attacking the other candidates?
What he did really well on an issue that others have attacked him since the beginning of the year was on the issue of safety. He talked about having the Department of Community Safety and, of course, the very significant announcement that you might have predicted, Bianca, yesterday. He was going to name Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch as his police commissioner. Of course, Commissioner Tisch gets a lot of credits across the spectrum for someone who has rooted out corruption and reduced crime, leading the NYPD. That was a strong moment. What it really tells you is that he's looking to build a governing coalition. Yes, he is a democratic socialist. No, that should not scare people.
All right, well, Trip, we got to end it there because I wish we could talk about this all day long. There's a lot of insight to get here, but certainly we'll have you back before, the election night starts. So thank you so much.
Hopefully.
All right, thank you again. All right, stay tuned because we still have more. And if you want to learn more about this, stay with Fox 5 for more on the race for mayor. Watch Battleground NYC, the fight for your vote with host S.C. Cupp. Stream it weeknights at 7 p.m. on the Fox local app, or you can watch it right after the 10 o'clock news. Meanwhile, developing news out of the Middle East, Vice President J.D. Vance criticizes Israel's parliament vote on West Bank annexation. Vance said it amounts to an insult and goes against the Trump administration's policies and efforts to ensure the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas holds. On Wednesday, Israel's parliament narrowly passed a symbolic preliminary vote in support of annexing the West Bank. And Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla meet with the Pope in a historic visit to the Vatican. The royal couple prayed with His Holiness in a state visit today aimed at building closer relations between the Church of England and the Catholic Church. After that meeting, Charles and Camilla attended a service in the Sistine Chapel. This is the first joint worship between an English monarch and a Catholic pontiff in nearly 500 years. Later today, the king will visit Rome's Basilica of St. Paul. It is one of Catholicism's 4 most respected churches. Let's turn now to weather to see what's in store for us this afternoon. Stunning views outside on this Thursday. Liv Johnston at the Weather Center for the full forecast. Hey, Liv.
Bianca, yeah, we're a little cooler than we were this time yesterday. Oh, hey, you guys. A little cooler than we were yesterday, just by a few degrees. 57 in New York City, but we have plenty of sunshine, so that's the good news. 58 for LaGuardia, 63 for Atlantic City. So we are warmer in some parts of Jersey, and even Long Island already up into the 60s. Most of us will just get into the low 60s this afternoon. Some of us the upper 50s, so we're looking at a high about 58 down the shore in New Jersey. Again, low 60s throughout New Jersey. 58 for Poughkeepsie. Monticello stays a bit cooler with just a high of 52 this afternoon. So it is another breezy day. I feel like I've said that every day this week. Winds right now about 5 to 15 miles per hour, but some of us even a little stronger. Bridgeport, 18-mile-per-hour winds right now. We don't have any wind gusts in the city right now, but you can see around the tri-state area, we do have some 18 miles per hour for Bridgeport. 18 for Hartford, 23 for Bridgeport. We'll go in and out of having wind gusts this afternoon, and then we're in the 50s for the next really 7 days. So it does drop a little bit, but we still have plenty of sunshine. We're kind of in a dry stretch right now. Bianca?
Hey, we can appreciate a dry stretch when we don't have the umbrellas ready to go.
Exactly.
All right, Liv, thanks so much. Meanwhile, a consumer alert is next at noon and involves something many of us deal with every single day. What you need to know about the so-called ghost tapping scam when you go to pay. Well, a consumer alert now at noon. The FDA recalling more than 6 million eggs for potential salmonella contamination. This is linked to cartons from the Black Sheep Egg Company and Ken's Hens. At this time, no connected illnesses have been reported, but the agency says many of the recalled products could still be at stores or have already been purchased. The FDA advises consumers to return these eggs or throw them out as soon as possible. And officials warning about a new scam this holiday season. It is called ghost tapping. The Better Business Bureau says these scammers bump into you with a card reader or wireless payment system. In the process, they secretly charge your tap-enabled card or mobile wallet. We spoke with someone whose mom was a victim of this scheme.
We're charged, and then she didn't know about it until she checked the bank because of the tap.
Now, officials suggest double-checking your transactions and closely monitoring your accounts. And a Westchester nonprofit providing life-changing service dogs to families with autistic children. Next at noon, we introduce you to one family who says having a furry companion is making a huge difference.
Without the work of New York City's agencies, your city would look like this. But because your agencies deliver for you, a record number of new homes have been created. Streets are safer with crime down citywide. And there's a brand new universal after-school program for our kids. That's how city agencies are delivering for families, making this the very best place for yours. New York City, delivering for you, every day, everywhere.
Fox.
All right, it is 12:30. Welcome back to the noon. We got a whole lot more coming up here, starting with this. New York football fans have plenty to be kicking and screaming about this season. So Fox 5 sports producer Lou Albanese and I are talking the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Jets and, of course, the Giants. And would you describe yourself as a kind person? Well, later on, Liv and I are talking about this new study looking at how New Yorkers see themselves and others. We're going to see if the New York stereotype holds up. But let's first get another live look outside on this Thursday. Mother Nature being very kind to us today. Would I prefer it to be 80 degrees? Yes. But is it raining? No. So that's a win in my book. Liv,
and it would
simple.
Be a little concerning if it was 80 degrees.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Global warming, not so much.
Right. But yeah, we can take what we can get, and it is really sunny out there, right? Not too bad of a live picture. Another cool start. A lot of us, even in the upper 30s, low 40s this morning. We have a shower chance northwest. It's pretty small, but just want to mention it. Temperatures remain cool for the next 7 days. We are really settling into that cool fall weather, and then we are dry for a while. So we do have a frost advisory. I believe this is the first one of the season for really just the southern half of New Jersey until tomorrow morning. That's because we've had those temperatures dropping into the 30s overnight. So just be aware. I don't know if you have any plants outside to bring them in. Currently 57 degrees in New York. We have 59 up in Boston. Warmer down for the Mid-Atlantic. It's 61 in Philadelphia. Pretty much the 50s throughout New York State. And then a little cooler further west. We see temperatures in the 40s. That's a sign of the times. We will get a little cooler the next few days as well. I feel like temperatures are pretty much exactly where the real temperature is, but we might feel a little cooler throughout the afternoon because it is another breezy day. Wind gusts are going in and out 20 to 25 miles per hour at their peak, so it's not as bad as we started the week with, gusting 30 to 35, but still, that's really the only thing we have going on. Satellite radar is clear. You can see a system way out by Buffalo and Erie, but for us, not going to be an issue. Now, I did mention that slight chance of maybe seeing a little sprinkle northwest of the city, so here that is. Maybe the lower Hudson Valley, a quick, again, sprinkle. I think we're in the clear, but just have to mention it. Temperatures will stay in the upper 50s for most of the day. We have that high of 60 degrees, but for the most part, it'll be the upper 50s. And you can also see we got a bit more cloud cover as the afternoon goes on. Tomorrow morning, temperatures mainly in the 40s, but it's in the 30s for places like Poughkeepsie and Monticello. Another slow warm up, pretty much the exact same day temperature-wise. Most of us will get into the upper 50s or low 60s. And you did see on that futurecast maybe a quick little shower rolling through, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're really dry for the next few days, really the next week or so. Lows tonight, 46 in New York. Same thing down the shore in New Jersey. We're 44 out on Long Island. Hartford gets all the way down to 40. Poughkeepsie and Monticello, like we just saw, you'll wake up with temperatures in the 30s, then you'll warm up to the upper 50s. So we go to 59 for New York, really the exact same temperature as today. 60 out on Long Island. We have 58 down the shore tomorrow. 59 for Hartford, 58 for Poughkeepsie, 64 White Plains. All of us very consistent throughout the tri-state. So 59 tomorrow, then we have 57 for Saturday and Sunday, but really not a bad weekend, right? Plenty of sunshine, just that fall weather. We start off the week just a little bit cooler, 55 on Monday and Tuesday. The next real chance that we see of rainfall will be all the way to next Wednesday. So enjoy the sunshine for the next week or so. Bianca?
Looking forward to it, Liv. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. All right, children with autism often struggle with sensory overload, anxiety, and difficulty expressing their emotions, but trained service dogs can help and offer comfort before they get any worse. Fox 5's Richard Giacobas has more on a group that trains and places these four-legged companions with families.
Paul? There you go, he did it. Good job.
The McKeever family is just back from a bucket list trip to Walt Disney World. Mom Kim, Dad Vinny, Riley, Molly, Max, and Fred. Fred is the family dog, but he really belongs to 7-year-old Molly. As she puts it, Fred is her Pluto.
Fred keeps licking my Pluto.
Molly was diagnosed with autism just before turning 2 years old. It was during the pandemic when Kim and Vinny noticed something was different.
We really noticed the struggles and challenges she was having, how language delay there was, how frustrated she was at everything.
Molly did begin speaking, but the worry came when this spunky second grader began to wander off. It's something called eloping, a common autistic behavior.
The worst that ever happened was I was just trying to go to the supermarket across the street, and we just needed to get some milk. It was like really simple. It was not a big deal, sort of quick trip. And she was so afraid of just what was on the other side of that door. Even though she'd been there so many times, she was just so scared that she turned and ran right into the bus lane right behind us.
It soon became a regular thing. Molly began eloping almost every week, and that's when the McKeevers were growing more concerned. But it was one day when Kim was here at her local Trader Joe's down the street, and she saw a sign on the door. It's a sign that you probably see every day where it said, "No pets allowed, only service dogs." And that's when the light bulb went off.
I started saying, I was like, well, maybe there's something that can be out there for her.
And there was. So Kim and Vinny got in touch with Blue Path Service Dogs, a nonprofit that provides autism service dogs to offer safety and companionship to families free of charge.
Ready? Let's go.
They work on that anchoring behavior. They visit school districts and really get accustomed to the sights and sounds of children, children with autism, the movements that they make, the sounds that they make, and really making sure that these dogs are comfortable in any type of situation.
Let's go for a walk.
It was a match made in heaven, and almost instantly, Fred took to Molly, and Molly took to Fred.
Come on, Fred.
And right on cue, during our interview while on a walk, Molly began eloping towards her older sister. Fred stayed anchored to the ground, looking up at Mom as if to say, "I got her." It's moments like these that Kim doesn't take for granted, she says, since day one.
You're my good boy. We walked past that corner where she had run away and right into the bus stop, and we walked right past it, and I just burst into tears. I just lost it. I just couldn't believe she was doing it.
Looks like Pluto finally found his Minnie Mouse.
You are the cutest puppy in the world.
On the Lower East Side, Richard Giacobas, Fox 5 News.
Oh, man's best friend really is man's best friend. We don't deserve dogs. Well, next at noon, the Upside Down is headed to the big screen. What you need to know about the theatrical release of the highly anticipated series finale of Stranger Things. Well, the 2-hour series finale of Stranger Things will get a theatrical release. After all, the climactic episode titled The Right Side Up will premiere on Netflix and in more than 350 movie theaters on December 31st at 8 p.m. Now, here on the East Coast, it's going to end up playing through January 1st, 2026. This is the first time an episode of a Netflix series will also be displayed theatrically. According to an announcement from Netflix, details on the precise theaters will be announced at a later date. And HBO Max users are getting more influence when it comes to their recommendations. The streaming site is launching a rating system for its content. It will allow users to select love, like, or not for me on anything they watch. HBO Max says anything that gets loved will influence what is shown in, because what you love tab will be there, while any content deemed not for me will be deprioritized. So this is similar to Netflix's thumbs up or down system. And ballerina Misty Copeland getting her final curtain call as a member of the American Ballet Theater. Well, that was a scene last night at Lincoln Center. She was the first black female principal dancer in its history. The 43-year-old Trailblazer is retiring from the company after 25 years. Copeland joined back in 2001 and became a soloist a decade ago. Meanwhile, you may have spotted Pennywise from the horror franchise It right here in the city, but don't worry, there is nothing to be scared of. Yeah, take a look at this. People dressed as Pennywise, a dancing clown, were spotted in multiple cities around the world yesterday, including New York, Los Angeles, Paris, and many more. So it's actually part of a promotion for HBO's upcoming spin-off series, It, Welcome to Derry, which is a prequel to the It films. Bill Skarsgård, who played the character in the It movies, is returning for the spin-off series. It, Welcome to Derry, premieres this Sunday. Well, next at noon, if you're a Jets fan, you'll want to stick around for a therapy session. And have you ever had a bird poop on you? Liv sure has, multiple times. We're talking about the legend that this is somehow good luck. And it's happening a lot here on the Upper East Side. What could attribute to this poopy mess? We'll talk about it after the break.
Nice. I'll see them and get your thoughts on the game.
I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm not gonna ever. I'm always a Jets fan, but like, I hate this team.
He is speaking for every Jet fan. I don't care how old you are. That kid speaks for every Jet fan.
I can't help but laugh. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Kicking and Screaming, the therapy session you didn't know you needed. Fox 5 sports producer Lou Albanese is here to break down
that poor kid's going to need more than one couch. Oh, my God. First of all, he's young. So think about guys like me. I've been following the Jets when Joe Namath was out there. I mean, I need like 9 couches. We need a whole bedroom.
Okay, so obviously this was one of the guys, I think he works for Barstool, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's running around the stadium there just asking people, what is your reaction to this Jets team? And you have this young kid who can't even put into words the disdain, the sadness, the depression that he feels.
He was so depressed. He was so depressed, that poor kid.
I'm sorry for laughing. But
that's what the Jets do to you. Yeah. It's like, it's insane. That's why the Jet fans are what they are. You watch this team. The owner comes out this week defending Aaron Glenn and says, we don't have a quarterback. You just picked up this guy.
Okay, so this video went so viral all over media across the country. You've seen this probably, I'm sure, multiple times. But what is it that resonates with so many fans that this kid, who I'm assuming is under 16 years old,
he's a kid.
What is it?
Because the Jets are so bad. And you have to sit through it, but they all come back.
But we know the Jets are bad, and people can talk smack all they want outside the stadium. But why this video?
Well, that video, because he said it all. It's so succinctly. That poor kid was so sad. Look at his face. Look at this kid. He's so depressed.
You know what? I'm going to say this right now.
He's wearing a jersey.
If the internet can do its thing and find this kid,
no, they got to find this kid.
Please have him come on the show. We'd love to. We'd love to chat with him.
He should be on every show. Everyone's going to be going after this kid. This kid is a star, a viral star, because he talks for every Jet fan. Every person who watches says, "I feel your pain. Yeah. I feel your pain." It's like Bill Clinton. I feel your pain. That's what it is.
Okay, first of all, we did not need to go there with Bill Clinton, but let's get to the next topic right now.
He feels your pain.
We're talking.
I feel it.
You know who's not feeling any pain? This guy is just a beast on the field, running into brick walls. Cam Scatterbo.
Right. But his father's feeling pain.
His father may not feel some pain because take a look at this. His dad got his Leo Scatterbo III got a tattoo of his son's Arizona State, the whole image. But then he said, you know what? My son is doing big things in New York, so now we're going to cover another arm, which is this whole. You have the Statue of Liberty, the Giants logo.
He better hope this kid doesn't bounce around the whole league because his whole body is going to be logos all over his body. He'll run out of limbs.
I know. I think that Cam is going to be staying here for a bit.
I think so.
He's injected some much-needed personality, energy.
Last night, he was at the Knicks game.
Saw him.
And the place went nuts. They went nuts. Aaron Judge, they like, Aaron, nice to see you. And Cameron, and they went crazy.
Why has this guy become all of a sudden like an overnight legend?
Because he's a personality.
Yeah.
He's everything. Bangs his head against the wall. All right? He flips. He does backflips. I don't know how that guy gets that body to flat backflip, first of all.
You should try working on it. Maybe a couple gymnastics
I would go
class.
right on my head. Right here. If I could even get up, I'd be right on my head. And there's an excitement about him and his buddy.
And he's a pretty good football player.
He's a very good football player.
This guy runs for a lot of yards.
He's a very good football player. He was a good college player.
Yeah.
They have two young studs.
Yep, Jackson
him and
Dart
the other guy, Dart.
Yep.
Those two guys have put more life into this city, all right? We haven't had life in the city since, I don't know.
I got to cut you off there because we have to run. But you're talking about tattoos. Maybe next week, would you consider getting one if it was a New York sports team?
That's insane, but you may have to twist my arm. You're going to really have to twist my arm on this one. You're going to have to tie me down.
Let's see. I just put it out there in the universe. All right, the kicking and screaming.
You're going to have to tie me down.
We're going to keep it going. Tune in at 1:30.
There'll be a lot of screaming. There'll be a lot of screaming with that tattoo.
There's a whole lot more madness on the Fox local app and on the Fox 5 NY YouTube page. We got more of the noon straight ahead. Stay with us.
Platinum Plus.
All right, welcome back. Time now for Notes at Noon. Well, a recent survey revealed which car brands are most likely to get pooped on by birds. We got to talk about the people that are most likely to get pooped on by birds.
She's right here. She's right here.
How many times have you been pooped on?
Oh, let's talk about this week. Twice.
I've seen it. Twice.
Yeah.
In 1 week.
She saw me got shot in the head, broad daylight. 2 days ago.
Okay, first of all, I can put it out there right now. I think this is an aerial assault. I think this is purposeful. Someone's training these birds to target us.
I have a message for pigeons. First of all, what gives? Second of all, is it because I am closer to the sky than most people?
You know what?
Or should I be taking this personally? Like, did I do something?
Okay,
I'm an ally.
Let's break down the science of this. When we talked about what kind of cars are most likely to get pooped on, it's like lighter color cars, silver,
maybe it's my hair.
White. I think it has to do something with your
I need
hair
to stop
color.
my highlights.
I think you should just go
Guys,
straight
that
brunette.
Truly, it felt like a rock hitting my head. By the way,
it's not just Liv. Our producer Christina also. We have evidence here of her being targeted by the aerial assaultists in the sky.
Right.
It's not just her either.
Yeah.
Are you being
And
mocked?
by the way, you guys, it happened to me again on the way to work this morning. And it was on my hand, and it's so graphic, we can't show you.
You know what?
I'm serious, because you might be eating lunch or something. It's really bad.
It looks like a tiny worm. Let me
this
just
time
put
it
that.
wasn't my head, but it was my wrist.
It's multiple people here at the station. I'm wondering if something is going on in the air. We checked the ChatGPT, and it did say that a lot of people are saying this is good luck, that you're going to go you have some wealth come into your life. However, there's another side of ChatGPT that says this is actually something bad, that you need to pay attention to something in your life that you're not noticing. What are you not noticing?
I think it was made up. Seriously, you know how people are like, oh, it's good luck when it rains on your wedding day?
Yeah.
Someone said that to make people feel better a long time ago, and we've just gone with that. That's how I feel about the pigeon poop. And you know what? I liked my luck before I had poop on my head.
Maybe it's about to turn around, Liv. Don't be so negative.
I'll let you guys know. I don't know if it'll correlate with the pigeon poop.
This next one, though, is kind of funny. These birds could definitely take some notes on our next topic. This new poll is taking a deep dive into the state of kindness in society today. So this is Siena Poll University did a poll of 800 New Yorkers. They found that, get this, 70% of respondents think people in society are less kind today than they were 10 years ago. How does that land for you?
Okay, well, actually, I have something that annoys me is when people say these days.
These days?
Yes, people love to throw that around. No one's nice these days. Like, are you serious? People have not been nice for a very long time.
That is true.
Or like, oh,
has it
can't
gotten
talk about
worse?
this nowadays. No.
Or do we just not know?
I don't really know. I'm not.
Who knows?
I haven't been around that long.
You know who knows? New Yorkers, because they said, not us. 97% of New Yorkers describe themselves as a very or somewhat kind person. So I don't know what is going on here, but you think people are not as nice, but you consider yourself very nice and kind.
Well,
what is that correlating here?
Also, I'm from the South, I will say. People are fake nice in the South. They're very sweet to you, right? They're like, bless your heart, which is actually an insult. And then they're mean to you behind your back. In the North,
so we're just mean up front.
Yeah, you might as well just get it out there.
What did we take away from this?
Authentic, I guess.
I'm not sure we took away from this.
I don't know. Watch out for pigeons.
And be nice.
And be nice to other people.
And
pigeons,
that includes
you as well.
pigeons.
Yeah,
I was going to say, include pigeons as well.
Wearing hats.
All right, hundreds of thousands of pumpkins made into portraits. Next, I need a closer look at the art celebrating influential women with pumpkins. Interesting.
Fox News.
Final check of the forecast with Liv. Any poopy instances out there?
You know what? It's a beautiful day for a pigeon to probably fly around and poop on my head. So, yeah. If you see me with an umbrella from now on, it's not because it's raining. It's because I'm trying to avoid the pigeon poop. Okay, so our highs today, upper 50s, low 60s. Not too bad, a little bit below average, but still quite comfortable. We do see a mix of clouds and sun, but mostly sunny throughout the day. That very slight chance of seeing a passing shower if you're northwest of the city, but it is a small chance. Just have to put it out there. Those clouds clear up as we head into Friday. I can't believe it's already the weekend. And then we're looking at really calm conditions for the next 7 days. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the upper 50s. We don't have to worry about rain, you guys, until next Wednesday. So you can enjoy your weekend, especially if that starts tomorrow. Just know it's a little bit cooler, but still plenty of sunshine. Really, the only thing we have to think about today is that it's breezy and it's going to be chilly overnight. Bianca?
All right, Liv, thanks so much. Well, have you ever thought about buying a haunted house? A recent study from real estate information company Real Estate Witch found more than half of American buyers are not afraid to purchase a haunted house. 1,000 U.S. adults were polled for this study, which also found that most of them found re-entering the housing market scarier than living in a haunted home. 94% of those polled say that they are more afraid of home repairs than ghosts and would prefer living with ghosts than with a bad roommate. Wild. All right, that is our show. But before we go, here's one last thing to leave you with. A pumpkin festival in Germany honoring powerful legendary woman. Over 100,000 pumpkins in various shapes, sizes, and colors are laid out across a farm near Berlin. There are 500 different varieties from all around the world, each labeled with its name and origin. This festival, in its 22nd year, it's all about women's power. Sculptures included Mexican artist Frida Kahlo, beloved fictional Swedish book character Pippi Longstocking, and ancient Egypt's Cleopatra. All of them, of course, created from these colorful pumpkins. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. 25 words or less is next. If you want more news, tune in to the Fox local app, streaming right now.
Every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 until 1:30. A gorgeous shot here right now of Manhattan. It's a beautiful day here in the city, and the weather's supposed to continue to be nice for the next few days. We're going to be hearing from our meteorologist, Liv Johnson, coming up in just a bit. But first, welcome. I'm Linda Schmidt. We're coming to you live from the Fox 5 newsroom here on the Upper East Side in New York City. We have a lot to get to for you today. Number one, big story today, coming off of last night's mayoral debate. Now, last night the debate was the second and final debate for the three candidates, talking about Zoran Mamdani, Curtis Sliwa, and Andrew Cuomo before the election. Now, the election is just 13 days from today. Big news coming off of that debate, Mayor Adams is now going to be endorsing Andrew Cuomo. Now, these two were rabid adversaries during the campaign until the mayor ended up stepping out of the race. He dropped out of the race. Well, now he is going to be endorsing. That official endorsement is supposed to be happening at some time today, but it has been confirmed. He is going to be endorsing Andrew Cuomo. Now, how we all kind of knew that this was coming anyway, because there had been speculation for quite some time that this was going to happen. But last night after the debate, Andrew Cuomo hopped in a car and quickly got over to Madison Square Garden. Go ahead and take a look at these tweets here. And who's he sitting courtside with? The mayor, Mayor Adams, at the Knicks game, the Knicks opening game last night. Cuomo giving a thumbs up, and then there's going to be some other pictures here where the mayor also giving a thumbs up. So these pictures here were just to solidify that, yes, the mayor was going to be giving his endorsement to Andrew Cuomo. Now, excuse me. We're going to get back to the debate here for just a moment, because last night there were some fiery moments in that debate. But first, what I want to get to is, no, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's show some of the sound from last night from the debate, the three candidates.
Andrew Cuomo, someone who had 10 years to deliver on so much of what he's spoken about. He says that taking 5 years to build affordable housing is the sign of an incompetent government. By his own words, that means he must have led an incompetent government.
No reason to believe you have any merit or qualification for 8.5 million lives. You don't know how to run a government, you don't know how to handle an emergency, and you've literally never proposed a bill on anything that you're now talking about in your campaign.
Excuse me, Mr. Cuomo, it's my turn, all right? It's like two kids in a schoolyard.
All right, now this morning, Andrew Cuomo was on 77 WABC radio, and he continued to attack Mamdani's experience. He even invoked 9/11. Let's take a listen to that.
You wake up as mayor, you wake up as governor. Any morning, there's a prison uprising. There was just a mass shooting. There's Legionnaire's disease. There's going to be a fiscal collapse. Wall Street's moving to doubt. Any given morning, there's a crisis. And people's lives are at stake. God forbid another 9/11. Can you imagine Mamdani in the seat?
Now, Mamdani responding with a post on X, and you're going to see it highlighted in yellow there, where he says, quote, just disgusting. He is responding to Andrew Cuomo's comments about 9/11 on 77 WABC radio this morning. Now, as for their schedules today, so far Mamdani and Cuomo, they've got busy schedules today. As for Curtis Sliwa, so far we have not heard from his campaign. However, he did post on X calling for Cuomo to drop out of the race. Now, as you know, anybody who's been following this race, Cuomo's been calling for Sliwa to drop out, saying that Sliwa is a spoiler here, that he's got no chance of beating Mamdani. But if Sliwa drops out, Cuomo believes he's got a better shot at beating him. But Sliwa posting on X today, calling for Cuomo to drop out of the race, and also reiterating that he is the Republican candidate in this race. He's not dropping out, he's not going anywhere, and he's going to continue to fight for New Yorkers. Once again, 13 days until Election Day. And we just got this in. This is a statement from Zoran Mamdani regarding Mayor Adams now endorsing Andrew Cuomo. And he says, quote, today confirms what we've long known. Andrew Cuomo is running for Eric Adams' second term. It's no surprise to see two men who share an affinity for corruption and Trump capitulation align themselves at the behest of the billionaire class and the president himself. He goes on to say, we are going to turn the page on the politics of big money and small ideas that these two disgraced executives embody and build a city every New Yorker can afford. Again, that just came out from Zoran Mamdani's campaign, his reaction to Mayor Adams now endorsing Mayor Andrew Cuomo, who is the former governor of New York. Okay, now earlier today on Good Day New York, there was a political analyst, the name of Ben Max. He is with New York Law School, and he gave a breakdown and his analysis of what he thought about the debate last night. We're going to go ahead and play that right now.
Impressions of last night.
Sure, I thought it was a
very interesting, fiery, substantive debate. It was really good. I mean, you saw the differences within the candidates. The candidates brought it. I thought by and far it was Andrew Cuomo's best debate performance, primary and general combined. I mean, he really was sharp and on the attack and looked more energized than we've seen him in many instances. Part of the problem with this campaign, of course. And Curtis Sliwa was solid. Mamdani got some of his licks in, but bottom line, general impression, big strokes. Nothing happened that changes the dynamics of the race, but this is, again, more fuel for people just tuning in to start to really get a feel for the candidates, and we saw big differences among them. The choices, are pretty stark here. This is not about candidates that are close to each other, right? You've got someone on the far left, someone kind of in the middle, and someone on the center right, and that's the choices in front of voters.
When you take a look at it, we got Trump, we got Israel, but this one seemed to focus a little bit more on local issues and pocketbook issues than the previous debate did. Do you think that worked in anybody's favor last night?
It was a mixed bag. I mean, you got a sense of how candidates are talking about things like controlling the school system, what they want to do about the Rikers Island jail and the possible jails to replace them, and other things of that nature. One of the most important things about last night's debate, though, was it really dug in more, and this was partly from the moderators' questions and partly how the candidates handled it, on experience. We saw that in the clip just now, and on whether candidates are really ready to be mayor. As much as Andrew Cuomo throws the lack of experience at Mamdani, he comes back with the scandals and the issues from Cuomo's time as governor, right? And then Slee was there chiming in, attacking both of them on that. So you got into a lot of that. And there are issues that were raised around Mamdani where you want to be mayor of New York City, and in this public forum, you won't take a position on the ballot questions related to housing.
I was going to ask you about that.
Do you think that scored points?
It doesn't matter as much to voters on the substance of it, because I think a lot of voters are still learning that there's questions on the ballot about housing and land use, but it's about how it makes you look mayoral or not. And when you're 34 years old and inexperienced and running for mayor, you have to sort of look like you want to be a leader, and he looked not that way in that moment.
And it was interesting. Andrew Cuomo went over basically how things work in government. Mamdani would say, I'm going to do this, and then Andrew would say, you can't do that. This is what you have to do, and he kind of laid it out. Do you think that helped Andrew Cuomo in any way?
Absolutely. I think there were several moments where Cuomo's experience and command of what government is and does, and the division between state responsibility and city responsibility on housing that came up, and how the Rent Guidelines Board works and all that.
Yeah, the Rent Guidelines Board was kind of a scoring.
Yeah, I mean, but then Mamdani's got his rebuttal, which is the mayor appoints all the members of the Rent Guidelines Board.
But not at one time.
Right, but so yes, those moments absolutely were largely in Cuomo's favor, and he had some of that verve that we haven't always seen.
So Curtis Sliwa, let's talk about Curtis, because I mean, Curtis is always great. He's a great wordsmith. Does he gain anything from this, or is he just a spoiler at this point?
Well, if you are looking at the dynamics of this race, he still continues. There's very little room to believe there's a path to victory for Curtis Sliwa. He's been polling at still roughly half, a little more than half, of what he got in a blowout loss 4 years ago. So the question is he helping down ballot Republicans? That seems to be part of the reason he's staying in the race. The GOP chairs of the cities, counties want him to stay in the race. They supported him. But yes, at this point, he's keeping a lid on Andrew Cuomo's possibility for taking on Zohran Mamdani in a closer race. However, I don't know that Curtis is wrong to stay in this race and say, I'm a major party nominee. I deserve to have my day in front of voters.
Except
right?
that people now are strategizing how to vote. We learned that during the primary, right, with ranked choice voting. Now we're talking about strategy again.
Well, this is why you see longtime allies of Curtis Sliwa who love him are saying, I love you, but get out of the race. His boss at the radio station, John Katsimatidis, and others. So there's a lot of people thinking strategically like that. Curtis has his viewpoint. I do think, as Andrew Cuomo has made the argument, that as voters pay closer and closer attention, they will see it as largely a two-person race. The biggest problem for Cuomo and the anti-Mamdani forces is there's a lot of Republicans who voted against Andrew Cuomo in 3 straight gubernatorial races who do not want to just sort of like bite the bullet and vote for Andrew Cuomo. They're going to stick with Curtis Sliwa, so we'll see.
Or not show up. That was my question, because I think there's a large assumption that if Sliwa drops out of the race or says he's endorsing Cuomo, whatever it is, that everybody who's voting for him would vote for Cuomo. Not everybody's going to do that, right? Because either they're going to still vote for Sliwa or maybe just go, I'm out of this one entirely.
Absolutely possible that Republican voters stay home. I mean, it's very funny. We're sitting in a city that's, 75% Democrat, and it potentially is, half of Republican voters who will determine, the outcome of this election by whether they come out for Andrew Cuomo, stick with Sliwa, or stay home. The other interesting thing here is if we look at the polling, you've got roughly 50% of the electorate with Mamdani and 50% of the electorate with the others, right? And so we'll see how that all comes down to Election Day. So much will hinge on whether Mamdani can bring out his young voters again. We don't know, but it's likely. So, we'll see. And Andrew Cuomo is going to make his, final argument about why voters should abandon Curtis Sliwa, but he's also got to hold on to those Democrats that are still with him, and that's a tricky balance for him.
Barring something unforeseen happening, wild and crazy, that would be bad for everybody. Is there a path mathematically for Andrew Cuomo to win?
Yeah, there is. Curtis Sliwa's support collapses because his voters see it as a two-person race and think strategically, we don't like Andrew Cuomo, but we're going to vote for him to stop Mamdani. And then the Cuomo supporters turn out in strong numbers, and Mamdani's vote is a little bit less than maybe expected. Again, they have a big turnout machine, the Mamdani campaign, so I wouldn't expect that. But there's
the Jewish population's not going to come out and support him. They have all these rabbis who signed that.
But you also see a little bit of sort of cracks in the moderate to conservative Jewish vote, people taking meetings with Mamdani because they think he's going to win, right? And there's a lot of people doing that across sectors.
That strategy as well.
Well, that strategy as well. But there is a path. I mean, there's a path. It looks narrow. But again, these polls, we got to take them with a grain of salt. They might be underestimating Mamdani, but they also are not necessarily forecasting what the exact electorate will look like. And that's where people got to get out to vote.
All right, also today, another major story breaking here in New York. The U.S. Attorney's Office with the Eastern District in Brooklyn. It has announced the busting up of a major sports betting ring. Now, this involves the NBA and some big names who you might know. We're going to get to that story right after the break. Stay with us.
We're not back, sorry. We're back.
And welcome back to Newsroom Live, everybody. I'm Linda Schmidt. We're live for you here today in the Fox 5 newsroom on the Upper East Side in New York City on this Thursday, October 23rd. Another major breaking story today. The Fed's announcing that there has been a major sports betting ring that involves the NBA and the Mafia that has now been busted up. It involves some big names as well with the NBA, some accusations out there. They held a major press conference just a short time ago, and we have some sound from the U.S. Attorney's Office with the Eastern District, which is here in Brooklyn. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
They used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator. Defendants used other cheating technologies such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table.
Okay, that's the U.S. Attorney there from the Eastern District in Brooklyn, and he's talking about the poker games that they were having, and this involves some people allegedly with the NBA and the Mafia, and they were, it was a big sports betting ring involving poker games, and they, in some cases, were having players help to try and throw the games. That's what the allegations involve here. Right now, we're going to go out to Haley Fixler. She's live outside Brooklyn Federal Court. And Haley, you covered that presser earlier today by the U.S. Attorney's Office. What else did they have to say?
Accused of attracting the victims to those rigged poker games. And then Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, he's actually accused of faking an injury to pull himself out of a game just to help with a prop bet so that he didn't get enough points or rebounds in a games. Now, there are two cases here, and between the two scams, officials say that the victims were cheated out of tens of millions of dollars. So let's break down these cases for you. So one of the cases is related to a fraudulent gambling scheme. Investigators say professional athletes like former NBA player and current head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Chauncey Billups, and former NBA player Damon Jones, they were used victims to come up to the poker table. And then we're told everyone, even the dealers, they were in on the scam. The victims were fleeced out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. And again, we are told that the Mafia families were involved in the poker games. That includes the Bonanno, Genovese, and Gambino families. Here's what we also learned. Prosecutors say the defendants used a lot of those high-tech devices you just heard about to rig these games. That includes hidden cameras, special contact lenses that would read pre-marked cards, and even an X-ray table that would read the cards that were face down on a table. Now, 3 of the people accused in the poker game scandal, they're also accused and charged in another case. That is the illegal sports betting one. Prosecutors allege that there was an illegal spread of information regarding when players would be sitting out of certain games and when they would pull themselves out of games because of injuries. The officials say Rozier and Jones, they were part of that group, and they would pass the non-public information to sports bettors. Investigators also say they got information by threatening a current player and then leveraging his existing gambling debt. They explain this was all related to a network of people who would place the maximum amount of bets to increase their profits. And officials say the results of these cases come after years of investigations. And we do know that the NBA right now is working with the authorities on this. And again, some of the defendants are going to be here in court in just about an hour. Live in downtown Brooklyn, Linda, back to you.
Yeah, Haley, and this, I mean, it really, the timing here could not be worse because, you know, the NBA just kicked off their season openers this week. And now all of this negative publicity.
Yeah.
And whenever you have any type of sports betting or any type of ring tied to sports, it really, you know, it shatters the trust that fans have in the games.
Exactly, and we'll hope to learn more in court today and throughout this whole legal process.
Yeah, and I'm reading here too, some of the games that they had, these rigged poker games, some of them were held here in New York City, in the Hamptons, in Vegas, and also in Miami. So, and there might be even other areas where these games were going on, but what they would do is just lure these unsuspecting people and then just start ripping them off. The thing, though, that really jumps out to me is that you had players who were injured, and then they would pretend that their injuries were either worse or not as bad as they were, in order to play or not to play to help with these rigged poker games.
Yeah, Linda, it was very widespread. Officials say that there were authorities in 11 different states that were all part of this investigation. So very widespread, a lot of different players and coaches from different teams, a lot of people involved. And again, we're hoping to get some more clarity as this justice system plays out.
Okay, Haley, thanks so much. I appreciate it. But again, you know, it's really, it's so, it's heartbreaking, especially for sports fans, when you hear something like this. And because you put such trust in your teams, you put trust in the players, you think that everybody is, you know, walking a straight line. And then when you hear something like this, like I said, it really just, it shatters your faith in sports, because there are so many times where people are watching a game anyway and they think, wait a minute, what happened there? Did that person just throw the game? And then you have things like this happen, allegations like this come out, and at this stage they are just allegations. But if they turn out to be true, it's it can be very difficult for a lot of people, a lot of fans. Okay, Haley, thanks so much. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the weather. Liv Johnson is going to be here. It's a beautiful day in New York City today, and we're going to find out what's coming up over the next few days, including the week. And welcome back, everybody, to Newsroom Live. I'm Linda Schmidt. We're live for you here in the Fox 5 Newsroom in New York City today. Joining me right now, Liv Johnson, and we're here to talk about the weather. And Liv, today, gorgeous day.
I know.
It looks like we got some major, beautiful weather coming our way.
I know. Okay, there's a live picture. So it is a little bit more cloudy. We will have a mix of sun and clouds today, but we'll focus on the sunshine. Yeah, you guys, we don't have much going on weather-wise for the next week. Today, upper 50s, low 60s. No chance of rain really until next Wednesday.
Okay.
We're seeing a little bit on the satellite radar to the northwest of New York, so maybe in the lower Hudson Valley. You could see a sprinkle today, but I really think the whole tri-state will be dry for the next 5 to 7 days. 58 degrees right now in New York. Some of us are already in the 60s. There's the satellite radar. You know, we saw in that live picture, mix of sun and cloud cover. Really the only thing going on today is that it's breezy. It's been really breezy the past,
It's been
right?
very windy
It's been very
the last
windy.
few days. I got to tell you, because I was doing my live shots last night and also, wait, what's today? Thursday.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, I was over
Right.
by Times Square, my hair, and Penn Station, my hair was whipping all over the place.
I
It
know.
was so windy.
It's been very, and it even feels like starting last week when we had the nor'easter.
Yes, yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
you're
it's just
right.
been breezy every single day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one thing we have going on. But even today's winds are not as bad as
As
what
they
you were
were.
just talking about earlier
Okay.
this week.
Thank
Gusting
goodness.
20 to 25 miles per hour.
Yeah.
We haven't even really had that many in New York City, but it's just that's the only thing going on, you guys. it's mainly sunny. I mean, temperatures are a little bit below average for the next week. I mean, they'll be in the upper 50s, but not too bad. You really don't have to worry about much.
You know what? I love the fact that we don't have a lot to say about weather today, other
Right.
than it's nice. I kind of feel like I'm in San Diego right now, where they've had beautiful weather day
I
after
know.
day after day, and it's like it's sunny again.
I know. It's like makes my job easier, but it also makes my job harder.
Right,
Because
right,
they give me 3 minutes to talk, and I'm like, well,
that's okay.
I don't even have that much to say, y'all. But yeah.
She's very popular today. It's sunny. We've got nice temperatures. It's the end of October.
Your weekend's
it's gonna
dry.
Be, the weekend's dry.
Yeah.
You got nothing to complain about.
Yeah, I know.
Which is good news.
Yes, it is
All
good
right.
news.
All right, Liv, thanks so much.
Of course,
I appreciate
thank
it.
you,
Anytime
Linda.
you want to bring us this type of weather, feel free
I'll
to stop
keep
by
working on it.
anytime.
I'll keep working on it.
All righty. I'm going to circle back to the lead story today. As you know, we had the debates last night in New York City. Coming off of the debates today, Mayor Adams is now endorsing his one-time arch rival, Andrew Cuomo. These are pictures from Cuomo racing over to Madison Square Garden last night to join the mayor courtside at the Knicks season opener last night. You can see he's given a thumbs up, and then there's going to be another picture popping up here. Wait, yep, there you go. There's the mayor giving his thumbs up. So that is supposed to happen at some point today. Everybody knew this was going to be happening. We were just waiting for when they are going to make the official announcement. And Zohran Mamdani also responding to that. I'm going to grab that real quick here, so I can just read a little bit of his statement. Quote, today confirms what we have long known. Andrew Cuomo is running for Eric Adams' second term, and it is no surprise to see two men who share an affinity for corruption and Trump capitulation align themselves. All righty, folks, that wraps it up for today. Thanks so much for joining us. Coming up, you don't want to miss this, Kicking and Screaming. That's coming right up. Have a great day.